I don't know if you've seen this yet, but this is my album artwork, and I've been crazy busy, so I haven't had a chance to like talk about it and break it down yet, so we're gonna break it down today. Okay, so this artwork is actually based on the 5 songs in the EP. You have kind of the central piece, the first one, Invocation, that sets up the whole album, and then you have the second song, Laocoon, getting eaten by the snakes, as you can see. You have Ariadne here with her string, talking to Theseus on the ship as he sails away. Then you have the 4th song here, Achilles with the ghost of Patroclus behind him. And then down here you have sweet Eurydice, who has kind of become a poetess in her own right and is accepting her death. This entire piece was designed by Adrien le Coz, who is an absolutely incredible artist. Literally all of his stuff is amazing. Definitely go check him out. I will put his name down below as well, so you guys can go find him. And it's made up of a lot of kind of classical elements. For example, you have the Greek key, it's sometimes called, or this meander pattern, which isn't all Greek, right? It comes from even older cultures, but the Greeks use this a lot in a lot of their pottery designs. And on the back of the album, we actually also get the wave design as well inside of that meander. And I think it's really cool that the artwork that Adrien came up with really exemplifies exactly what this album is about, which is drawing from these deep roots in classical mythology and using them as inspiration for your own work, but also not letting that kind of overwhelm your own artistic voice. And I think Adrien was really successful at achieving that in this piece. Okay, so now I want to actually talk about the mythology and all of the little teeny tiny details that are going on in this artwork. But first, I want to tell you where you can get one of these bad boys. If you would like to have an Invocation record of your very own, they are available on Poorhouse Pressing. There will be a link to these creatures in my bio, and if you are more of a in-person kind of person, I will have these at any of my in-person shows, open mics, gigs, and things that are coming up. So if you don't want to pay for shipping or anything like that, come to an in-person show and get one from me. All right, are you settled in? You better get settled in because I'm about to tell you a lot of lore. Get ready. Okay, so I actually want to start with the center label on the record. So around the outside of the record, we have the laurel wreath, which overall is a symbol of victory, right? Laurel wreaths would have been given to victors of Olympic Games, victors in battle, but it's also a symbol of Apollo, which makes sense with the athletic side of it, but Apollo is also the god of music and poetry. So laurel wreaths would have been given to victors of poetic competitions or musical competitions as well. Another thing on the center label that is small, but I think it's kind of cool, is that instead of just saying side A, side B, I also put the ancient Greek coordinating conjunctions, men and de. Men means on the one hand, and de means on the other hand. Okay, now back to the outside. Okay, so why do we have this whole, like, spider motif going on throughout this whole thing? Well, that would be because of me. My artist name, Argiope, is the species name for the orb weaver spider. I'm sorry to anybody who's been jump scared by their Google search recently. Now, I'll do a whole other video about just why that's my artist name and why it's spider related and all those kinds of things, but in the meantime, I will tell you this is a great way to reference the myth of Arachne, who is a woman who was an incredible weaver. And this woman was so good at weaving that, according to the myth, Athena, who's the goddess of these kinds of incredible technical skills, comes down and challenges her to a competition of weaving tapestries, and Arachne beats the goddess Athena. But for her arrogance, right, and for her, desire to challenge the gods themselves, she's still punished by being turned into a spider, so she will weave forevermore. And this just seems like a really great entry into Invocation and the album as a whole, since the song Invocation examines what it means to lose your traditional relationship with your own artwork. Much like Arachne will no longer be a human being weaving tapestries, right? But instead she will be a spider which weaves by her nature in order to survive. So also with my music, I've noticed over the past several years as I've become something resembling an adult, music is not just this thing that I do for fun or to prove something, but it has actually become a fundamental part of who I am and how I interact with the world around me. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to split this into 2 videos because this is already way too long and I still have like 70,000 more things to say about Adrien's incredible artwork. So if you are still here, thank you, I appreciate you, and hang out for part 2. Mustn't forget our key researcher.